Okie dokie. Now we're moving on to another position altogether. It is VP Finance. So first up, we're going to take a little look at the manifesto points of one Mr. Zak Evans. Let's have a look at what he had to say.
Hi, my name's Zach Sparrow and I'm running to be the next Vice President of Finance and Commercial Services here at Loughborough Students' Union. Since my first year, I've been heavily involved in all aspects of union life. I've been a hall chairman, a vice chair of social secretaries, a union trustee and a union councillor. I have enough experience to know what works and what doesn't work at this union. If elected, I aim to improve the availability of cash on campus through the introduction of new cash points in high trafficking areas. I also aim to develop the union's current marketing scheme in order to increase promotion of current union events. As well as this, I aim to expand the range of students attending the union through listening to the views of you, the students. And finally, I aim to assure the smooth implementation of the union rebrand in order to enhance the student experience. So come voting days, vote Zak Sparrow for your new Vice President of Finance and Commercial Services, making your treasure go further.
Here he is, it's Zak Evans. Mr. Evans, thank you for joining us. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. It's different to last year. I remember being on campaign teams last year and it's a lot different environment, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be an enjoyable experience.
Fantastic. We do have another candidate for VP Finance. Unfortunately, we don't have a feature explaining his manifesto points, so we're going to welcome him to the stage straight away. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Chris McKenna. Hello, Chris. How are we doing? Yes, I'm good, thank you. I'm not feeling too cushy, it's all good. Okay, brilliant. So we have our candidates on the stage, and I have also been joined by current VP Finance, Mr. Rory Mitchell. Rory, how are you feeling about this evening?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to giving these two a little bit of a grilling. I've had a read of their manifestos, and well, I'm sure they'll be getting some good questions, if I'm honest.
Brilliant. Okay, so I think we'll open this debate straight up. Mr. Linsky, who's in the audience for us?
Yeah, we're back to contested debates then. Let's see what we can rustle up for you from this audience. Peter Knight, I believe, has a question. Where's Peter? Peter? Hello, Peter. A question for our VP Finance candidate.
Hi there. I've just taken over as chair of the Wolfson School Department Committee, and so far I find it very hard to find any information about the committee's accounts for my treasurer, and as a result we've had to postpone socials and stash for the students of the school. How, in the future, are you going to make the accounts information more accessible?
There we go. Okay, so more accessible information. Is this something that you think you'll be covering, Zach, if you come into office?
Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, as the union says, every student does matter. What I'd aim to do potentially is meet with all of the sort of department chairs at first, and then move on to the meeting with the treasurers and sort of collating all the facts, all the figures, and then developing from there in order to give you the most accessible information. Because once I've got it, then I can share it with you. That's it, end of. What I would aim to do is be the most transparent as I can possibly be to make sure that your job is the easiest as possible. Like, as most people that know, when I'm working on a committee, through my experiences, I'll do the most that I possibly can to make everyone else's job as easy as possible. And that's the way, if elected, I would carry through onto this position.
Fantastic, thanks, Zach. Chris, where would you go with this?
Roughly the same direction.
Roughly, or would you sway off slightly? Would you take a U-turn?
Roughly.
Just roughly. Just sticking with roughly. Rory, when you came into office, did you sort of do things roughly, as it were?
No, I didn't do things roughly. Well, I hope I didn't. No, I think this is a bit of a problem that I think has happened a few years, and I've had it dumped on me, and Lazo, I'm sure, will say the same. It's something that's come up a lot, and it's all down to some miscommunication in the past, and we're hoping to fix it in the year to come. But if not, to be fair, what the Zach and what Chris has echoed is a quite a good idea. Get the chairs and the treasurers in to have a discussion about it. I think it's the way forward.
Thank you, Rory. Okay, Mr. Carter, you had quite a bit to say about the VP Finance position in the pre-pop. So what would you like to bring to the floor this evening?
Why have you got a tin of carrots?
Oh, I hadn't noticed. Chris, reduced tin of carrots, is that something that you will help to strive your campaign forward, or?
It's a good luck charm. I'm going to be honest.
Good luck charm.
I like carrots.
Don't we all make you see in the dark?
Sorry.
That's fine,
Okay.
Chris. Any other questions for the candidates?
Yeah, why are you here? What?
I think that's a fair point, Zach. Why are you here?
Yeah. I think everyone knows why I'm here. I've been. Yes, thank you. That's very nice of you. Very nice.
They're reduced.
Brilliant. There you go. I've been heavily involved in the whole aspect of the union since my first year. It's a very well-known fact. I love the Students' Union. I love working for the students, and that's echoed through everything that I've done. In every committee that I've been on, I've always excelled to the maximum. I wish to pursue that further. I want to go onto the Students' Executive and push as far as I possibly can to work for the students and with the students. I don't feel personally that the Student Union speaks to students enough and listens to what they want. So what I aim to do is essentially go out and speak to people and get acts and get nights out that people actually want to go to. Figures have dropped this year dramatically. It's a known factor. So therefore we need to do something about it, go out there, speak to students, see what they want. Numbers will then again rise, which means we'll have more money to do extra stuff with.
Jago. One candidate that wants student figures to rise, and one candidate that's resting his laurels on a tin good. How do you feel about this?
I'm not really sure what to say, Connor, if I'm honest. I will make one question, and that will be directed to Zach, but Chris, feel free to answer as well. Zach, one of your main manifesto pledges is based around this VIP concept that the likes of Manchester, the likes of Rain have adopted in town and with great success as a way of rebranding the union, getting more people involved, getting more people on nights out, and specifically on Hey You, which is, as we all know in this room, quite struggling at the moment. Rory could confirm either way, I'm sure, but VIP areas already being done?
Me and Rory met up a few times previous to elections starting, and I actually spoke with Rory and we discussed this matter. It's something that's now been done, but I personally think that it's something that can be built upon in the future.
So Rory, pinch your idea.
No. Yes. But then that's what the students are for. Surely the students are there for the executives to go to get ideas from and to build upon for the Students' Union. That is entirely what the student body is about. The executive speaking to students, seeing what they want and doing it. Exactly what Rory's done, and I applaud him for it.
Yeah, straight to the point there from Mr. Evans. Rory, obviously you're dealing with two reasonably different candidates this year. What would you say to somebody who perhaps said that you know, Zach has come with quite full answers, he's got a full manifesto, and others have said that Chris perhaps is a little bit sort of grey in what he wants to do next year? How would you approach the candidates in advising them for next year?
Well, that's a very difficult question, Connor. I thought these two were the ones that get the tough questions. No, I think, well, Zach's given some full answers and Chris has been a bit vague, but sometimes vague answers are good answers. Today, I'm not sure they have been, but what can you do? I think it's one of those things that you come in, you run an election, and you say what you think you can do, but in reality, you come to the job in July and it's a lot different. So maybe some vague answers are the way forward, but who knows? Okay,
Chris, obviously we didn't get a chance to see your manifesto points. The viewers at home didn't get a chance to see them. Is there anything you'd like to voice to the audience today about your manifesto?
Yeah, I mainly think that a lot of the union sells things for quite expensive prices, like if you compare them into town. Mainly I'd be focusing on making everything cheaper, because I think that'd be better for students.
Have you got a strategy for that, or is there a strategy for doing so?
Not quite. I'm gonna have a feel around, like make sure I know the job.
Cool. Chris is
when I
going to have
get
a
in.
feel around. He's got plenty of time to you know, polish up on those sorts of things before he gets the job, perhaps. Mr. Constantino, you look like you're egging for an answer.
Yeah, I've got a question for Zach. Now, regarding your experience, in a recent campus radio interview, you, in your own words, said you had little or no experience in finance. And you said the interviewer asked you, why aren't you running for union president? And your response was mainly, and if I paraphrase, that you've known union presidents to have no social life, and their hours are too long. So what qualifies you to run in finance, and what reasons are you running for it? Is it because you think you can get it?
Personally, for me, I think you're very much focusing on one aspect of the position. It's a finance commercial services. It's not just VP Finance, as most people will come out in lectures and say VP Finance purely because it's shortened. Yeah, I don't have a degree in mathematics or anything like that, but I'm willing to learn. I've got a background through my hall, being the senior treasurer for my hall. I've got a background working with £12,000. It's not the same level as the union, but it's a start. I'm able to put money into different sections in order to maximise the performance of a hall. So why not? Can I transfer that to the executive? In terms of saying that about the union president aspect, that they don't have any social life and things like that, it was kind of taken under context and under the circumstances a little bit like, oh, I've got to answer a question, help me. But personally, like, it wasn't that at all. I felt that VP Finance Commercial Services was perfect for what I want to go onto further in life, and that was the right thing for me at the time.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Chris, would you say that if you get the position, that year will help you to achieve what you want to go on to do afterwards?
Yes, I would. I mean, I'm working on a degree in aeronautical engineering, and obviously there's lots of business involved in that, and finance. So I think that would be helpful and whatnot.
I was unaware that finance had a big part to play in aeronautics, but then again, I'm not an aeronautical engineer, so...
Oh, it does.
I think we've got...
Sell things, you see.
No, fair enough, yeah. I think we've got two quite avid supporters of Mr. McKenna in the audience. Joe, have you got your mic to these
yeah,
fellas?
where
Is
about
there something you'd like to pose to the floor? Sorry, one sec, guys. Joe's just going to find you.
Don't really have anything to say, like, yeah, carrots, that's, yeah.
Are you guys bursting with pride at seeing Chris on the stage this evening?
It's a big moment for him.
We love him.
Yeah.
It's one time Crazy, or Chris, rescued an old lady from a shark. So.
Interesting stuff.
Wonderful.
Right, let's get. We do have another perhaps more serious question from the floor. It's from Zoe again. Zoe, a question for the two VP Finance candidates.
Hi. With the increase in tuition fees, and like you said, there is a reduction in the student spending this year. What do you do to increase this next year while offering the students value for money and running the union profitably?
Okay, Chris, how would you take to that answer?
What was the question? I couldn't hear.
Sorry, how would you give students better value for money and run the union properly?
There you go.
Oh, better value for money. I haven't really looked into it too much.
Okay, Zach.
Just cut me off.
Zoe, can I ask you something back? What do you feel that you get value for money out of the union at the moment?
I actually get quite good value for money from the union, but other people obviously aren't coming to the union as much this year.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering what you would do to target them.
For me, it's about, it completely relates back to my manifesto point. I was working I think it was the first FND or back at term, and compared to the figures last year, numbers were down 1,000 students. It's a dramatic amount of students attended the union, £4 per entry. That's £4,000 that the union didn't get that night. That's a lot of money. What I personally feel is that if the union are putting on nights that students want to go to, such as a DJ, such as a band, or anything like that, students will come down to it. Therefore, you're getting more students through the door, essentially more money on the door, and then you're getting more money into the union to work with in other places. Once you've got more students in the venue, you're spending more money on bars, which means, again, more revenue for the whole facility, which works. And then I think, personally, students are getting acts that they want to see. They're getting value for money because they're paying for what they want. They're not paying to come down and see someone on a stage that isn't who they know or isn't who they want to see. They're paying to see who they want to see, and that's the way I see it.
Perfect. Ms. Zelinsky. Okay, so Rachel, you're a hall chair. Zach picked up on the fact that as a hall chair, he's learnt to handle some of the things he's going to have to handle next year if he gets the position. Do you think that's enough credential to go on into an important position like VP Finance? Do you think either of the candidates have enough credentials?
I definitely think it's a very good place to start. I mean, you can't really get that much better experience coming in as a student than being on your hall committee in that kind of position. As a hall chair myself, I'm sure Zach is exactly the same. You are responsible. It is you and your treasurer who are responsible for the money. So, you know, you have that responsibility. So he's already been in that position. I think that's a very good standing for the position on exec.
Okay, Rory, when you were coming into the job, was there things that you specifically made sure you did in order to give yourself the best head start?
No, because I was similar to both of the candidates. I had the questions of, oh, you don't have an economics degree, why are you running for VP Finance? And I think as long as you've got a mathematical ability, you can come in and do the job. You can come in and over summer pick up all the financial knowledge you need. You've got a great support team at the union to help you out. And like I say, I don't think it's enormously, it's not a game changer if you are an economics student or a finance student or if you're not.
Lovely. Okay, thank you, Rory. Joe, have we got a tweet there, a response to something that Zach said?
We've got another question we can go to in the audience. Another one from Georgina Fenton. If you're ready for us again. Sorry to spring that upon you. Another question for the VP Finance candidates.
If you could change one thing about the union now, what would it be?
Change one thing. Do you want to,
Chris? One thing about the union.
It's a hard one. I think I'd make the entry to nights out free.
How are you going to make any money?
I'd make it. I'd move the entry to like the union shop maybe.
But didn't you say in your manifesto?
So add £4 per chocolate bar to...
No. Once you pay the entry to the union shop, like everything's free.
So essentially, there's no income to the union.
No, there would be income. You'd be paying for entry to the union shop.
Yeah, but if you're paying money to the union shop, you're paying £4, and then you're giving away everything for free, which means you're losing money.
Nothing to say it's £4.
How much are you going to charge?
£5 or £6.
Okay.
£5 or £6 to get into the union shop. Just a show of hands. Who'd paid £5 or £6 to enter the union shop?
If everything was free inside.
If everything was free inside, sorry.
Yeah.
£5 or £6 if everything's free inside. Right, okay. I didn't ask whether it would work or not. I just asked the question. All right. Mr. Pearson, what do you have to say on the matter?
Is it a joke, or is it a mock the system, or can you fill us all in?
I'll see if it works.
It's not going to work.
You haven't been elected.
This isn't funny.
It was funny for like the first 2 minutes. Now it's getting a bit weird.
Okay, on that note. Well, yes, please, Zach, please answer.
The one thing that I personally changed about the union at the moment is the fact that you have a Stupid Tuesday, you have your Hey Yous, you have your F&Ds, and you have your subversions every other week. There's no nights for students to come to the union and see a live band play. When, anyone in this room ever come down to the union and see a live band? Just to come down, not get absolutely smashed, and just come and see a band because you want to come down and listen to some music. Like, that's the one thing that I don't think the student union offers that much. And that's the one thing that I would change personally, is to give students the opportunity to come down, to get a few beers in, to get whatever soft drinks they want in, to listen to a band and enjoy their evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Zach. Thank you. Okay, so this sector of the debate has seen Tim Carrots and Chris Carter getting an applause. What next, ladies and gents? I just don't know. I can't keep tabs on it, but what I do know is we're very good here. It's all good. So what we're going to do now is move on to the next VP role. But before we do that, please give a big round of applause to Chris and Zach and Mr. Rory Mitchell.